a circular stating that they can only be served on Mondays. I saw the circular myself. Subsequent to that, I, as hearing the intention of Mr. Speaker to come to a determination in one way or the other, directed service, which is within my rights. Mr. Speaker, yesterday, Parliament was duly served.
Honorable Member, please, I didn't want to interrupt you, but you are the majority leader and the leader of this House. As at the time you were directing service yourself, you took the trouble of coming to Parliament with 2 persons who are alleged to be bailiffs and went to the legal office to yourself, directing officials of the legal office to receive the service. You are a member of Parliament. I am the Speaker. It is my duty to protect your privileges and immunities. In doing so, I had a discussion with the Chief Justice, and we came to an understanding that in the meantime, the Chief Justice issued a directive as to how service of members of Parliament, some officers of Parliament, and the Speaker could be effected. I communicated this to the House and discussed it with you, the leaders. We said that as we go along, we will together, Parliament and the judiciary, particularly led by the Supreme Court, come out with a legislation on this issue of privileges and immunities of Parliament, members of Parliament, and specified officials of Parliament. We discussed this. Based on this discussion, the Chief Justice issued a directive to all registries of courts in the country. And it is stated clearly there that the Speaker can be served on Mondays during working hours. There were reasons why we came to those agreements. You are aware of it. Yet you kept on insisting that service be effected whilst the Speaker was presiding over the proceedings of the House. You, as leader of the House, as majority leader, you are saying that this was service because you threw the court processes on the table and walked away? Is that how you effect service? Please, to quote the common parlance, don't go there.
With respect, for the past 12 years, I've accorded you every respect, and I'll continue to do that. Mr. Speaker, the facts you put out are not true. Mr. Speaker, these are credibility issues, so I will respond for the record. Mr. Speaker, somebody has told you something. Mr. Speaker, you reserve the right to be there to make your point. Let me make my point too. Mr. Speaker, no way. Mr. Speaker, no way. Mr. Speaker, whoever told you, Mr. Speaker, whoever told you that I threw a paper at somebody, this has to do with my credibility. I will not allow hands.
You know, Honorable Member, you don't listen at all.
Mr. Speaker, I do.
I never said you.
Mr. Speaker, you said
I never said you threw a paper at anybody.
Mr. Speaker,
I never said that.
That's exactly what you said. Let the answer check it. Mr. Speaker, that is what you said.
You are being carried away by your anger. You are not listening.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not angry.
Honorable Member. Honorable Member.
Mr. Speaker, I'm not angry.
I said the court process was thrown on the table in the office. I never stated it was thrown by you at any person.
Mr. Speaker, you said I allegedly said some bailiffs. Alleged bailiffs.
No.
Mr. Speaker, then clarify.
Please.
Mr. Speaker,
listen to me.
Mr. Speaker, listen.
Honorable Majority Leader, I don't want to proceed to make some orders. Please, resume your seat. I'm very serious about that.
Mr. Speaker,
please, resume your seat. Honorable member, your
coming events cast their shadows. We have Parliament now, elect with the executive.
Grant of orders beyond 10 days. The Speaker's lawyer urges that because of Order 25 Rule 18 of the High Court Civil Procedure Rules 2004 CI 47 that enjoins High Courts to grant injunctions and other preservation orders for 10 days in the first instance if heard ex parte and without notice to one party summoned before the court. The Supreme Court was also enjoined to grant the ex parte order for 10 days as a matter of rules and practice. This is a submission that fails to appreciate the import of Article 2.2 and 2.3 and 2.4, which guide the Supreme Court when dealing with a constitutional matter such as this. We will quote again Articles 2.2, 2.3, and 2.4. The Supreme Court shall, for the purposes of a declaration under clause 1 of this article, make such orders and give such directions as it may consider appropriate for giving effect or enabling effect to be given to declarations so made. Any person or group of persons to whom an order or direction is addressed under clause 2 of this article by the Supreme Court shall duly obey and carry out the terms of the order or direction. The Constitution enjoins the Supreme Court to make orders that are appropriate for giving effect or enabling effect to be given to its final declarations on the correct meaning of a constitutional provision. And the Constitution is so serious about ensuring the obedience of such orders that it creates the offense of high crime for failure to obey such orders in Article 2.4. Not even the President and Vice President are exempt from obeying the orders of the Supreme Court when they are made to give effect to its duty to prevent a violation of the Constitution. Because of the irreparable harm to the constituencies made up of hundreds of thousands of Ghanaians who would have lost their MPs without the option of a by-election, and the irreparable harm to the MPs who would have lost their seats in Parliament in these last few weeks to the 7th December elections, if the meaning put on Article 97(1)(g) by the Speaker was enforced without a clear determination of the disputes around it, this court found it expedient to compel the parties to allow an early hearing rather than make an order that would last only 10 days.
We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know we will get there. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know we will get there. where
that the processes of court had been set through the legal department of Parliament, and this had been brought to the notice of the Speaker. He bantered extensively on this information with the plaintiff on the floor of Parliament. And the Speaker's only reason for choosing to quarrel with the summons from the Supreme Court, an application for injunction to restrain him from ruling on a matter premised on interpretation of Article 97(1)(g), was that as Speaker, he was only supposed to be served with court processes on Monday. This is an unfortunate interpretation of the first column of the circular referred to, because this circular provides for the Speaker of Parliament to be served personally on Mondays and through the legal department of Parliament on any day. But whatever interpretation of the circular that the Speaker chose to put on how he was to be served, the Supreme Court is satisfied that the Speaker was well served with notice of the action that had been started on 15th October 2024 and seeking the correct interpretation of Article 97(1)(g) of the Constitution.
The case, which seeks to prevent the removal of 4 MPs
going, but we know we will get there. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know we will get there. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know we will get there. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. We will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will get there. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know we will get there. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom.
Let's do other stories now, because schools and students who also wish to enjoy the school feeding program would have to wait a bit longer, as the ministry has announced that the expansion of the program is on hold until further notice. Responding to questions from the Ilo Krobo MP on when the program would be extended to some schools within his constituency, the caretaker Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection said the program has significant debts that must be taken care of before any expansion can be undertaken.
So, Speaker, currently the expansion of the program is on hold. We are clearing all arrears of caterers and putting in place measures to ensure effective and efficient service delivery to all beneficiary schools, as well as the caterers. We are also putting in place a management information system to enhance efficiency and effectiveness of the system. We shall surely inform this August House when we are ready to expand the program to cover additional schools. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Joining me for this conversation is Siba Alpha, who is PRO for the school feeding program. Thank you so much for your time. The school feeding program debt is high. Can you please give us figures on how high it is?
You said the minister said the school feeding program is high.
The debt. So can you give us figures?
I'm upset, but if I heard what you said about the school feeding program, what the minister said on the floor of Parliament yesterday, is it correct?
So we're talking about the debt that the school feeding has accumulated.
Oh, okay, yes. So, thank you very much for having me. Yeah. Even before I go to that, I would like to thank your listeners and also to call on I don't mind from online.
Where school feeding now? Yeah, Oshimase Anglican Basic School. And Kasenquine Yeshino, say and say a dear yenim. It's in Central from one come once and my yang. Yaka, when you're not doing so better than I think. One show and quine no, and Kasenquine no. And then Pranon and Nidi, it's more come once and MIA. Yadam was say, I'm so far, the new quality of a fancy. I'm on son on Emotion, Ian is Ano. Say I'm Pesio, say a dear you knew. I'm some of my yesterday.
Many of the issues that were agitating our minds, you've thrown light on them. And I'm happy that the staff strength is not too large. And I will, on the emoluments that in the rural areas in the country. We're grateful for what you're doing. We see that really there's a challenge. The challenge is in financing. Definitely the caterers, as we said, they do the pre-finance. And because of the global economic situation, which has definitely affected Ghana, there's a need for an upward adjustment of the amount that you give to them.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and the political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our job, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
If you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. Inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Right, hello, good morning and welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. It's a Friday, the 15th day of November 2024. By His grace, we're live and we're here. We're at another edition of the show. Our gratitude will to Most High God for the rare privilege of being alive and, of course, the opportunity of having another conversation around the top stories making the rounds here in our dear Republic. I'll let you into a panel for the morning's conversation shortly, but let's take a look at the front pages of our newspapers. Daily Graphic. President receives France's highest award. 4 MP seat ruling. Supreme Court gives reasons for decision. DBG profitable, well-governed management. The Ghanaian Times. Extremist jihadists target December 2024 polls is a question. NCC picks signals of attempts to recruit youth to mar elections. France honors president with Grand Officier de la Légion d'Honneur. DBG profitable and well-governed management. Daily Guide. Bawumia best man to lead Ghana, Kufuor. EC begins ballot papers distribution. 2 Ghanaian, 2 Chinese Galamseys open defense. French President Anes Nana, 4 MP seat saga, why Supreme Court overturned Speaker. New weekend crusading guide on the trial of Galamseyers. Okay, I'm sure it's trial, not trail. Okay, or maybe trail. Aisha Wang's accomplice to open defense. Heady days to 7 December polls. NDC promising Dubai trips and cash for votes. Visa fraud victims to drag also not NPP parliamentary candidate to court. Jospon Group targets $400 million Afri-Exim Bank investment to boost African projects. Bawumia's railway development plan way to go, Jack. School desk scandal hits Okankwe North MP Teresa Awuni. Bawumia Napo ticket partnership of achievers Fifi Boafo. The insight. Mahama chases Akufo-Addo and Bao over economic hardships, rising food prices and others. Teachers and pupils of Wawase MA Basic School suffering, lament poor state of 40-year-old building. Visa fraud victims set to drag Ayaoso North NPP parliamentary candidate to court after disciplinary committee failed to address matter. Towards beefing up security, ultra-modern police station commission at Abelemkpe. Israel's genocidal war in Gaza driven by self-interest by US and Netanyahu. The Herald. Bagbin's lawyer leaves Afenyo Markin and others still stranded. Ghana hosts Africa Week conference September 2000. What's 2005? Okay, I'm sure it's probably September 2025. Highlights of NDC and MPP manifestos on communication innovation. Bank of Ghana's own bank flouts its forex trading laws. Ghana's Jospon Group seeks $400 million Afri-Exim Bank funding. The Informer. Elections 2024. Bawumia ideal leader for Ghana. Kufuor declares, "Give me power and you won't regret." Bawumia. Mpox no respecter of borders. WHO warns. Stamps up Ghana's readiness. Ignoring Supreme Court ruling. Bagbin faces 10 years imprisonment. Justice Atuguba warns. Voter operation to ensure border integrity. Immigration explains. The Inquisitor. Agojo stings Dampare again. Personnel transferred for attending funeral with Mami Tiwa. Bank of Ghana's exchange rates are artificially created. Etuahini. Development Bank Ghana, Paris orchestrated lies. Fifi Boafo eulogizes Napo's humility, hard work and kindness. NDC to abolish BECE taxes. Omeni Boama. The Daily Statesman. France honors Akufo-Addo with highest national award. NDC buying votes with Dubai trips and cash incentives. Kufuor Bawumia is Ghana's ideal leader now. Kumasi Market Queens pledge support for NPP. Business and Financial Times. Lawyer seeks Supreme Court order to halt government domestic borrowing. Says parliamentary oversight needed. Sounds alarm over legality and enforceability of T-bill contracts. Ghana Stock Exchange partners fintechs to drive investor participation. DBG has not squandered World Bank and EIB funds as alleged. Jospon Group targets $400 million Afri-Exim Bank funding for Africa projects. France supports development with 1.4 billion euros over 3 decades. Inswatrema Rural Bank records impressive growth. PNC Forum 2024 set to discuss the next frontier for Nigerian content implementation. And finally, the good old Catholic standard. Catholic bishops hold assembly in Obuasi. You are a Ghanaian, president to Nuncio during the presentation of his credentials. Prioritize human dignity in witchcraft legislation. Rethink Ghana's democracy, Professor Jimandia. An editorial, Trump's re-election and matters arising. And that's about it for the front pages. We'll be back shortly.
There's nothing worse than your multi-bet missing, but nothing better than having it saved. BetSaver.
Good business means seeing the possibilities and maximizing opportunities. Making sure you have a responsive support system backs your business goals. A partner that gives you a stable platform with reliable connectivity and seamless solutions, and better understands the tools required to take you to the next level. With so many moving parts in running a business, we do our best to provide you with some stability. The only kind of stability you can find with MTN Business Broadband, the fastest and most reliable internet provider in Ghana, making sure you stay ahead and stay connected, because we understand what makes your business tick.
Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh or call or WhatsApp 0244 308 111.
MTN. Over 5 million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Bawumia #1 on the ballot.
Look around. Your home also need a makeover. Mine clearly does. So we went to Ashroom and found the Como collection. It had everything we're looking for and more. Merchant furniture for the entire home, designed with you in mind.
Where's Como collection? Dressing up is just the breeze. Always ready with a perfect accessory.
A magic dressing mirror. One look and you're ready to face the world. Or at least the kids.
A bed perfect for young men who want
a table that turns into a treasure chest.
And finally, a sofa with this grand TV unit for family time at home.
Head over to any Ashphone store now and discover the new Como collection. Ashphone, feel it, know it.
Welcome. Please look into the camera for verification. Thank you, John. You are now verified. Please select your preferred candidate. New candidate. Profile being verified. Please choose another. New candidate. Profile not ready. Please choose another. To see development options for this candidate, press yes or cancel. Will cancel free SHS. Will cancel LEAP. Will cancel health insurance. Will bring back Doomsaw. Should I continue? Press yes or cancel. Please choose another. Development options. Will improve free SHS. Free healthcare. Flat rate scheme for importers. Jobs for the youth. Affordable public transport with electric buses. Generally, a great choice. The only choice really. Thank you for voting #1.
Esuro. Vote #1 on the ballot.
Here's Kwame and Yao. After hours of planning, both have locked in the same perfect multi-bet. Big win for United, over 1.5. And both teams to score in the London Derby. But who could have picked Leicester over City? Or a high-scoring game at the Bridge? There's nothing worse than having your perfect multi-bet missing. But there's nothing better than having it saved. BetSaver. Win, even if your bet misses.
Dr. Bawumia once said,
"We are building a new harbor in Cape Coast and a new airport in Cape Coast."
In 2020, we will promise an airport and a harbor. Fast forward to today, absolutely nothing. Sure working. Vote John Dramani Mahama for president. Trustworthy, honest, and reliable. Vote for change. Choose the umbrella. Vote John Dramani Mahama and the NDC.
Customer, I don't know who say.
Malaria been actually me, man. No more drama, man. Still.
Ah, one of them give us.
Give us a solid.
Yeah. Sorry. What rest of so give us here and turn down.
But so good as so. But for me to give us the and turn down.
Give us about me, sir.
Me patron the and turn down.
Customer. Give us that turn down. Back.
Onuya kayo, oba wa fa furo nom. De o ma no bonu fo nom. Akwada wa ni fie dumie no ono nso nom.
John, number one.
Number one.
Esuro.
For me, right?
Although who else?
Oh.
Let's choose buy tickets for others.
Love you, boo boo.
Maybe straight to option 4.
You need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or preferred tickets. I'm choosing random tickets. Listen, if you buy the random ticket, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. 5.
Baby, give me your 5 numbers.
And how much are we buying?
Babe, look at the body and buy you.
With your body,
Hey,
tread cautiously. Now follow the prompts and confirm. Now the luckiest.
The luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. TNCs apply.
Dr. Baumian once said,
Teachers are suffering. Teacher trainees are suffering. Nurses are suffering. And nursing trainees are suffering. Patients are suffering. Students are suffering. Traders are suffering. Pensioners are suffering. Drivers are suffering. Contractors are suffering. Civil servants are suffering. And farmers are suffering. Fishermen are suffering. And industries are suffering. Artisans are suffering. And Kayaye are suffering. The disabled are suffering. And men are suffering. Women are suffering. And children and Ghanaians as a whole are suffering.
Vote John Dramani Mahama for president. Trustworthy, honest, and reliable. Vote for change. Choose the umbrella. Vote John Dramani Mahama and the NDC.
There's nothing worse than your multi-bet missing. But nothing better than having it saved. BetSaver.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. And it's been an awesome journey with Momo from MTN, 15 years of ease, safety, and convenience. This is definitely worth celebrating. That's why the Momo at 15 Rewards is here with amazing cash prizes to say thank you. Send money to an MTN Momo user or make payments to an MTN Momo merchant at no cost whatsoever, only on MTN. So go and download My Momo on the App Store, Play Store to enjoy this. Just Momo it everywhere you go. Terms and conditions apply. And if you're thinking of getting that toothpaste, I'll take care of the entire family and save you some money. The recommended family toothpaste is Kel 360 toothpaste. This is approved by the Food and Drugs Authority. Kel 360 toothpaste provides you and your family with all-round dental protection throughout the day with freshness. Kel 360 toothpaste is good for kids, children, and adults. Let your family be a proud family when they step out by constantly using Kel 360 toothpaste. Kel 360 toothpaste brightens your teeth, prevents cavity, and with its cool mint gives you fresh breath throughout the day and protects the gum from decaying. For consistency and quality, use Kel 360 toothpaste. Kel 360 toothpaste is another product from Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasu. It's available in all supermarkets, malls, and provision shops. You can call Samara Company on 0246 864 798. Kel 360 toothpaste, happy smile. Well, with me on the show this morning, I have the Vice Chair of Bawumia 2024, Nana Akumia. Nana, good morning.
Morning, Randy.
Right. We're expecting the chairman of the Assurances Committee in Parliament, the Honorable Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa, was also member of Parliament for the Northern constituency, to join us shortly. Nana, how's the campaign going?
Well, thank you. Let me wish your viewers a good Friday morning. The campaign is going really well. And if we are to take the numbers who attend Dr. Bawumia's rallies, and we are to take the enthusiasm and the responses from the community outreach and the house to house that he does in every constituency that he goes. There's a community outreach, which is the house to house. Then there's also a stakeholders engagement where prominent people, opinion leaders in the constituency, he meets with them, 300, 400 people, selected opinion leaders, and then he does a rally. If you are going to look at the responses from these engagements, the house to house or the community engagement, the stakeholders forums that he holds, and the rallies, then it's very, very positive. But you know, the electorate is big, and so even though we are encouraged to do more and not to be complacent. So it's going well. He's currently in the Ashanti region. He's been there over the last 1.5 weeks. And Ashanti region is a stronghold of the NPP. So you expect the numbers. So there's no, but the thing is we want to increase our percentage of the Ashanti votes from the normal 70, 71, 72 to about 75%. And so there's a lot of focus on the Ashanti region campaign. It's supposed to finish by the end of this week. And then we have another, and then you would have done...
End of this week is tomorrow.
Yes, okay. Supposed to finish by Sunday, I think. Let me check and then after that, there will be another 2 weeks to do mop-ups, places where there's going to be whistle stops, Teshimami and all those places where It's a lot of votes. So it's going very, very well. And we're hoping that the momentum, but the crowds in the Ashanti region campaign, I mean, it's just and I'll send you one of the footage at Idubiasi yesterday. I mean, it's just crazy. So we're happy about it, and we hope that it will translate into a 75% of the Ashanti votes.
All right, okay.
Where is John Mahama?
I don't know. We have to, when Sami comes, he'll tell us where he is.
Sami is very focused on his constituency.
Samuel Kujatu.
I don't know if he's playing a big role in the national campaign itself.
Okay. His latest thing is about the distribution of expired rice to secondary schools.
I think that's what I heard him talk about this morning on one of the radio stations.
Quite a big issue. A lot of, if you read the thing, a lot of fraudulent conduct. I mean, repackaging the things. I mean, repackaging means deliberate fraud. Yes.
So if that is the case, then those who are responsible for the repackaging.
I'm sure when he comes in, he'll give us the details. But the Supreme Court will not give the decision.
Yeah.
And then now the reasons are out, and we know that there were two justices who. That was a 5-2. They didn't believe that the Supreme Court was the proper place to deal with the issue. And we've seen both the majority and the minority views on the matter. And so people have started adding Lord Denning to the names of the two justices.
Oh, why?
Why? Those who believe that, you know, the Lord Denning,
I've heard of it.
You know, that was a minority view. It was a minority view. They often quoted Lord Denning position on the law. At the time, that was a minority view on the issue.
Lord Denning, I thought he was a writer on constitutional law.
No. If Lord,
which particular one was he a minority view?
There's it's a very popular one.
Case, okay.
Yes. That was a minority view on the issue, and so there are a lot of people who are saying that. But I have a couple here. Now, this says that the Supreme Court has published its reasoning behind the 5-2 ruling in the lesson of.
One second, you have the graphic?
Yes.
I'm sure they'll give a comprehensive report on it.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't had time to go through.
Okay. So,
it's not here.
Now, parts of the 109-page ruling by the Supreme Court provided, one, it says the proper interpretation to be placed on the provisions of Article 971G and H of the 92 Constitution as a preliminary step. Then it is instructive first and foremost to refer to two key phrases: leaves the party, appearing in the text of Article 971G, and joins a political party, appearing in the text of both Article 971G and H, which are particularly illuminating and critical to understanding the provisions. The statement said, applying the known canons of interpretation, including the purposive literalist interpretative approach, those phrases appearing in Article 971G and H inherently imply a contemporaneous action by an MP to switch allegiance to a different party while in Parliament. They do not show any prospective or anticipatory connotation. Simply put, the language used in Article 971G and H conveys present and immediate actions, reflecting immediacy and contemporaneity, rather than a prospective event or futuristic occurrence. The Supreme Court further explained the only plausible conclusion, which must necessarily flow from a holistic and contextual reading of Article 971G and H, is that an MP seat shall be vacated upon departure from the court of his elected party in Parliament to join another party in Parliament, while seeking to remain in that Parliament as a member of the new Parliament. Similarly, an independent MP who joins the cohort of a party in Parliament, while they remain members of a Parliament for which they were elected as independent member, who have to vacate the seat tagged as that of an independent member. The central issue thus intended to be addressed by Article 971G and H is not merely declaring the intention to join another party or the intention to become an independent MP in another Parliament, but becoming independent or becoming a member of another party while seeking to remain in Parliament during the term for which the MP was elected. the Chief Justice Gertrude Tokono led Supreme Court emphasized. By this reasoning, the 4 MPs will remain in their seats in the current parliament. Article 971, an MP shall vacate his seat in parliament G if he leaves the party of which he was a member at the time of his election to join another party, or 6 to remain in parliament as an independent member, or H if he was elected a member of parliament as an independent candidate and joins a political party. I will later on read the minority view, but let me just put out a small clarification. There were 5 justices who had the earlier one, the injunction, and then for the substantive 2 judges were added to make it 7. Now, the 5 had earlier on maintained the issue of jurisdiction, that they believed that the Supreme Court was the right place. The 2 that were added, they believed that the Supreme Court was not a place. And so on the issue of jurisdiction, they dissented. They therefore did not go further. Once they believed that the Supreme Court was not the right place and that the High Court was the right place to go, they did not go further. So the issue of whether the Speaker's thing was constitutional or not was decided by the 5, not the 7. And it was still a 5-0. So what they're saying simply, or what they've said simply, is that it is only about cross-carpeting. That once an MP is elected, until he seeks, so practical terms, an MP is elected as an MPP or NDC MP. For the 4 years that he's in Parliament, it's only when he seeks to move to NPP or NDC and continue to be MP. I find that a bit strange. And continue to be MP. That is where he loses his seat. But if he doesn't seek to, and I'm trying hard to find how a person will want to leave MPP to NDC and maintain his seat in Parliament, or leave NDC to MPP and maintain his seat in Parliament. I just want to get that. But what it then means is that, I mean, that's it. They're just saying that the declaration of the intent or pursuing whatever with respect to the subsequent Parliament is doesn't affect anybody. And so it is only when the person seeks to cross carpet. I don't see how we can cross carpet in this Parliament, but well, then I don't know what you
well,
make of this.
I agree 100% with the court's ruling. You see, look at the wording of, and the court dwelt on the wording of the article of the Constitution at issue. Says that the G, it says that if he leaves the party of which he was a member at the time of his election to Parliament, if he leaves to join another party or seeks to remain in Parliament as an independent member, and then H, say if he was elected a member, which is the same. One talks about members of political party, H talks about independent member, but talks about the condition for which their seat can be declared vacant. Now, in my view, and that's what the court also says, the wording of G refers to Parliament. Parliament. Not a political party. It refers to Parliament, events in Parliament, on the floor. And see, as we speak, there have been, if you look at all the cases that members of Parliament had to leave their seats, in 2 of those cases, the case of Professor Wayo Seni and the case of Kofi Asante, they actually cross-carpet. He said, we resigned, we are no more going to be members of our party, and so that's the end. So that one is clear. There was the case of Tei Nyaunu. You remember Tei Nyaunu? Who also declared that he was going to stand independent in the next election, but he stayed in Parliament. His seat was never declared vacant. I think there's another person who also signaled
in his case, I'm not too sure if it was brought to the attention of the Speaker or if anybody went to court on the matter.
The man actually registered to stand as independent in the next election.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, you mean nobody formally?
Yes, I'm just saying that it was not.
It doesn't even. They are not even bothered with the next Parliament, because there's also the viewpoint that they have filed to leave their party at the next Parliament, and so not this Parliament. The Supreme Court doesn't. It says that as far as this Parliament is concerned, they haven't crossed carpet. They haven't left their party. They still remain members of their party, as far as the information that we are given is concerned. They still remain members of their party. And that is only when you say you are leaving your party to another party in Parliament, then your seat will have to be declared vacant, because your constituency.
That's what I want to understand. How does that happen in this Parliament? You know, how can an MP say that I am an NDC MP? I am moving to go and join MPP in the same Parliament. How is that possible?
If you move in the Parliament to join NDC, you have to go back to your
How do you do that? How do you do that? How can you do that?
By crossing carpet. By announcing that you are leaving the NDC to the NPP side, or vice versa. But if you haven't announced that you are still sitting with your party, you haven't crossed carpet, as far as the Parliament is concerned, you haven't left the party that brought you to Parliament.
Okay.
So the ordinary reading of Article G is that it is referring to Parliament.
So now let me ask you this. From what you're saying, does it mean that a member of Parliament,
for example, let's be practical, because we are talking about a practical situation.
Yes.
Cynthia Morrison, and who are the other people?
The SUM MP,
the
NDC MP,
the NDC MP. Have they left their caucus?
In fact, the SUM MP says that immediately the statement of polls or notice of poll came up, the caucus removed him from the platform.
Has he left his caucus?
How do you leave? How do you leave?
By crossing carpet.
How is that done? I want to understand.
By crossing carpet. By saying that I'm not going to sit with this caucus. Okay. I'm going to sit with this caucus. That's what's called crossing carpet.
So once
they haven't moved. They have said that in the next election, we are going to contest we are going to come to Parliament as independent. For now, we remain with the caucus. The people of Suhum sent me on the ticket of the NPP. I am still sitting with the NPP caucus. I haven't changed that mandate.
Now let me ask you a question. Does it therefore mean that a person can be expelled from his party once voted to Parliament? A person can be sacked from his party by the party, or a person can resign from his party. But to the extent that he has not communicated his decision to leave his party's caucus in Parliament, he remains an MP?
Yes, to the extent that he hasn't resigned from his party in Parliament.
So despite the fact that the party has sacked him, or he has resigned from the party, to the extent that he has not taken a decision to leave his party side in Parliament,
let me tell
he
you,
remains in Parliament.
Yes, absolutely. That's the wording of the Constitution. If he leaves the party of which was a member, the party of which was a member at the time of his election to Parliament. So you are elected to Parliament as a member of the NPP. If you leave to join another party or seek to remain in Parliament, do you know, and I said I was going to tell you something, do you know that even as a parliamentary candidate, once you file with the Electoral Commission
Mm-hmm.
and you finish your filing, your party may expel you, but you still be the candidate.
Yes. Yes. No, so Nana, I'm dealing with the practicality of it. So a person gets elected to parliament today.
Yeah.
As an MPP member.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow. The person does things for which reason is taken through due process or whatever the party's law says and is expelled from the party. We're saying that by this ruling, to the extent that the person has not, by himself or herself, announced that I am leaving my party in parliament to go to another place, the person remains an MP.
In the first place, the people have not been expelled by their parties. In the first
No, I'm just looking at the implications of if we are saying that this is what it means.
Well, but the practical situation that we have on our hands is that the people have not been expelled from their parties. They have also not said they have resigned from their parties.
But their party's constitution tells us that
if Parliament reconvenes next week,
yes,
they will be sitting with their caucus.
Yes. So Nana, the point I'm making to you, you see, the point I'm trying to make is that if tomorrow, per this ruling, if we are saying that it is not what happens outside, at the party level, outside Parliament, but what happens in Parliament.
Yes.
That's exactly why I'm raising those practical issues.
Yes.
That a person decides to resign from the party.
Okay, I understand. Your issue is practical. It hasn't happened, but it could happen.
I think that is even happening.
One second.
Yes.
By implication, if your party expels you from the party, you still remain a member of Parliament.
Yes.
Don't you?
Yes.
Don't you? Because you are in Parliament on a mandate, a 4-year mandate, which is independent of what happens in your party. So if your party expels you from the party, you are still a member of Parliament.
That's just the understanding I want.
Yes.
So whether I resign, or so I can be elected today, I put in my resignation tomorrow.
Yeah.
I will remain in Parliament for the next 4 years.
Once you haven't left your party in Parliament.
Yes. The party sacks me for whatever anti-party behavior, whatever tomorrow. If I have not taken the decision to leave the party in Parliament, I continue
So you are actually insulated or protected as an MP.
Okay.
And that's why I gave you the instance of the Electoral Commission. Once you file, your party gives you, the General Secretary gives you the letter that you are the candidate for Kankwe South. And you file with the Electoral Commission and you finish the filing and you do everything. Your party can expel you. You'll still be there.
Okay. All right. This is very interesting for political parties. And so what about an independent candidate?
Say.
How do we, so let's say
an independent candidate just means he's there on the independent party.
Okay. So let's say in the present case of the independent candidate, he opts to do business with one side. One side. What does that mean?
Oh, it means he will sit with the caucus.
How do we situate that within the context of what that's not cross-carpeting?
No. The independent candidates, right from the beginning, wrote a letter to the speaker that I would sit with the caucus. He's still independent. He's still described as an independent member of Parliament for so-so. But he says he would do business with the caucus. Same thing happened in I think 2000, if you remember. Was it 2000? Yes, it happened in 1997. And then it also happened in the year 2000. You remember? When in 1997, the CPP members of Parliament wrote and said that they will sit with the minority caucus. You remember? And so they were part of the minority group. So the minority group was, I think, 61 NPP and another 5 or so CPP. So there were 65, 66 in number. And then in the year 2000, when the Samia, Nkrumah, and some of the right came, they still opted to sit this time with the majority party. You see, so this independent chap, he's saying that for the life of this parliament, he has not left to join the caucus. So it's the same.
All right. Okay.
Now and you see that in terms of the capacity, when you look at the ruling, it gave a lot of precedents to justify their capacity. In terms of some of the decisions that they made, they gave extensive precedents. But the minority view, that the two judges who disagreed, their main disagreement was that the Supreme Court did not have the capacity, and that they thought that the action should have been taken to the High Court.
That the Supreme Court should have directed the plaintiffs to the High Court.
To the High Court, yeah. The majority gave reasons with precedents why they didn't think so. Now, the minority viewpoint, the two judges, you see, this is a matter of, the way I look at it is that this is a matter of interpretation of a provision of the Constitution. And when it comes to interpretation, the Supreme Court has original jurisdiction. If the suit was that those seats should be declared vacant, if the writ before the court was that those seats should be declared vacant, I'm sure the court would have ruled that to declare a seat vacant, you need to go to the High Court. But the suit was that the constitutional, the Article 97 is the one that has to be interpreted, given a true and proper interpretation. And in that writ, they are asking for an interpretation of a provision of the Constitution. And so the Supreme Court, being the original jurisdiction when it comes to interpretation of the Constitution, they thought they were seized with the capacity. But you see, Randy, even if you went to the High Court, even if you went to the High Court on Article 97G, whatever ruling the High Court gives can be challenged. That this is a constitutional interpretation. In fact, one of the judges made the point that go to the High Court, let the High Court come to the Supreme Court for interpretation. You remember? That you start at the High Court, and the High Court will tell you, okay, this involves an interpretation of G, so go to the Supreme Court. So, in my view, whatever happens, you will still come to an interpretation by the Supreme Court of Article 97(1)G. It will still come back to the Supreme Court because the plaintiffs or any of the parties can say that this involves an interpretation of a provision. And the High Court doesn't have the power to interpret the Constitution. So you have to refer to the Supreme Court.
Okay. All right. Sir?
Hi, Doc.
Welcome. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you very much.
So we're just looking at now that the Supreme Court has released the reasons, we're just looking at it, and the two judges who are now Lord Denning Tanko and Lord Denning Lovelace.
Why would you nickname them Lord Denning?
I told you.
It means you agree with their stand.
What?
You agree with their stand.
Justice Tanko makes the point that he's sure that very soon the same Supreme Court will come back and correct its position on the matter.
Well, his colleagues don't think so. But I'm saying...
Same as Lord Denning's colleagues didn't think so.
Yeah, but why would you think the Lord Denning should apply to the minority and not the majority? The people who are...
Oh, the similarities are too striking. Lord Denning's, the Lord Denning thing was, it was a minority view.
Yes.
On that matter, yes. This is also a minority
has every minority view been reversed?
Oh, no. No.
So why do you think this one will be reversed?
I believe so.
There have been many cases where There be minority.
I believe.
Okay, that's your belief.
I believe in the soundness
Then
of their position.
I believe their position is very sound.
That's fine.
The position of the majority.
That's fine.
And that's what I've explained to
That's
you.
fine. We can't argue about it. Otherwise, we'll have to go back to the Supreme Court. Yes, let me bring you in.
Yeah, Doc.
Yes.
Good morning to you. Good morning to Nana. And I was granting interviews on a number of
Nana told us
stations.
Because I heard you.
Yes.
Yes, I couldn't stay.
On a public health matter.
Yes, and that's where I
and
want
the case body on fraud.
Yes.
Okay. We'll get to that later.
And that's really where I want to begin. I think that
finish with the court. So
I really think that the matters of the courts have been really overflocked, and the jury is out there. The debate will continue. I am on the side of the minority judgment. It's very sound, very consistent with what I have said here many weeks ago. And my main concern while all of this legal gymnastics are going on is that how do these judgments really resolve the stalemate, resolve the crisis that we have? We need to pay heed to the advice that former President Mahama offered and that Speaker Bagbin also offered when he addressed the press. It appears to me that that is the sound way forward in terms of finding a political solution. We cannot afford to spend all the time litigating this matter and going after the judges, who is right, who is wrong, and all of that, when we are losing crucial time. Ordinarily, if you look at the calendar of Parliament, we should by now have passed appropriation for the ensuing year. In an election year, the budget has to be approved for the first 3 months so that at least workers' salaries can be paid. Here we are without a budget. December is fast approaching, and we will soon be hit with a situation where salaries cannot be paid in January. And so this whole tussle cannot continue. There is the need for cool heads to prevail. The Speaker should be accorded the respect he deserves, and let the leadership of both sides, the Speaker, and even leaders in both parties across the divide, sit and fashion out a way forward. Because really, if you look at even the majority decision, there is no specific order on the Speaker. It does not resolve the crisis in terms of if whether Parliament should be recalled, Parliament should convene, what happens to our budget, what happens to urgent matters.
But that's not a business of the court.
That are pending. Of course. So that should tell you that the courts have a limited scope, a limited role to play in this matter. And that the continuous flexing of muscles where, people want to show that, they can go to court, they can undermine the Speaker. And this began way before even the Speaker delivered his ruling on this matter. There was an attempt to stop the Speaker from carrying out his mandate. And I think that all of this conundrum should highlight the wisdom in how many jurisdictions, including Ghana for years until this rather sordid point, where the judiciary has been careful, in stepping into Parliament and meddling with parliamentary functions in the way and manner this present Supreme Court has done. So here we are. Those who say that they will cite Speaker Bagbin for contempt. The question is, cite him for contempt for what? What has he done? contrary to any judgment of the courts. So really, the only way forward, looking at the fact that time is of the essence, the year...
All the things that they agreed on, for which reason they said they had...
Exactly.
What has happened to them?
Yeah, they have not been met. You know, I'm sure organized labor will say that they are also waiting for the crisis in Parliament.
Which crisis? That's just one of the many things
to be resolved.
That was just one of the many things that were supposed to have been done.
Yeah, but you agree.
What about all the others?
You are right. But it was a key demand by organized labor to have that LI repealed. So here we are. Parliament is not sitting. Urgent business is not being responded to. So I come back to the solution in terms of the way forward. I think that former President Mahama was very eloquent and insightful on that. Speaker Bagbin as well. Let's see cool heads prevail. Let the leadership of Parliament on both sides and those who have been offering some mediation behind the scenes, like the Peace Council and the Council of State, I think that they can continue. But the president has really been aloof in this matter, and he should be really concerned because he has a budget to present. The budget is presented for and on behalf of the president. It comes to Parliament in the name of the president, and he has to be seen offering leadership in this matter. He should not just be aloof, appearing to be removed from this, at least on the outside. We all hear what he gets up to behind the scenes on this matter. But he needs to bring leadership to bear. And so far, you don't see that leadership. As former President Mahama said, if he was president, he will have called the opposition leader. He will have engaged with both sides of the aisle, including the speaker, and then a roadmap will be developed further. You see, the way things have gone, let's be honest, that it appears to me that a lot of egos have been bruised. You hear the Honorable Afenyo Makin saying that as for him, even spiritually, he can never sit on the minority leader seat. I don't know what that means. I thought that we are in the fiscal realms.
But maybe he's a spiritual man.
I don't know how spirituality is being brought into this, you know, and how that helps any matter, you know. And then you have the attacks, you know, the onslaughts, the tirades, the insults that have been launched at the Speaker of Parliament by Afenyo Makin and his cabal, you know. So it's created a very poisonous situation, let's be honest. Very, very poisonous situation where people's authorities have been undermined and there's been a lot of bad blood. But we cannot continue, and it should be clear to everybody now that Supreme Court judgments are not enough, you know, to resolve this. I've heard some members of Parliament say that they are busy campaigning and nobody is going to get them to sit in Parliament before December 7th. You know, I've heard a number of MPs say that. And you see, it's not every MP who is in a safe seat. You know, some are in a battle of their lives, you know, in swing constituencies. Many constituencies in Ghana today that are swing constituencies. And this business of emergency recall of the House, they show up, or we attend upon the summons of the Speaker, and then the people who triggered the recall are nowhere to be found, you know, and all of that time wasted cannot continue. So we really have to look at the way forward, and the way forward can only be achieved through cool heads prevailing, maturity. Let's have a political solution. Those who must say sorry to others, because some of the words have been really, I mean, if you go back to some of the things Afenyo Makin has said about Speaker Bagbin, really offensive. naked insults, and it does not bode well for a parliamentary democracy. So where there has to be concessions, it should be made, and then we can move forward. I'm really concerned about what happens to salaries, wages and salaries from January next year. I'm really concerned about even the Electoral Commission. You know, the Electoral Commission was supposed to appear before us with the security services to let us see their plan for the elections and see their level of preparedness for the elections. All of that cannot happen because of the crisis. Meanwhile, the elections are just a few days away. We have
the budget is a 3-month budget. You need just 2 hours to approve it.
Yeah,
so even if it's the 5th of January, you can approve it.
Yes, but if this continues and things are deteriorating, you know,
what I don't want you to consider are the tax waivers.
Oh, certainly. As for those tax waivers, nobody is interested in them on our side. We are not going to give it any support. So maturity. A lot of people out there are not happy with how we are conducting ourselves, and I think that we could really have handled this matter.
Have you had any indication
in a different way?
Have you had any indication from your caucus or the Speaker as to whether the Speaker is going to recall Parliament or whether the Speaker is waiting for another
emergency recall?
Emergency recall.
The indications we are picking up is that it's not likely that we can sit before the elections. A lot of MPs, really on both sides, but particularly on our side, have sent strong signals that they are not going to respond to any recall. I've heard some even speak openly about this because they are in a battle of their lives in their constituencies. And there have been 2 recalls that those who triggered the recall didn't show up. You know, total waste of their time, total waste of resources. So they are not motivated So I'm really doubtful if there will be a meeting before the December 7 elections.
Okay. All right.
There are a few things that I don't understand. Sami tries to give the impression that the Speaker is being undermined and that the Speaker should be accorded the respect that he deserves. Where has the Speaker been undermined in this matter? Where has he been undermined? The Speaker gave a ruling. People disagreed with the ruling. They didn't attack the Speaker. They said, we disagree with your ruling, the basis of your ruling. And they went to the courts, which is the proper forum to give proper interpretation to the particular constitutional provision that the Speaker was relying on. How is that showing disrespect? They didn't tell the Speaker, we will disobey your ruling. They said, we disagree with you. We think that your ruling is wrong. And what did they do? They went to the courts. I thought they rather should be praised for following the law. What we have now in this country is the rule of law. And if anybody is following the rule of law, how is that being interpreted as showing disrespect to another person? I don't understand it. There have been cases in court against presidential actions, isn't it? There have been cases in court against presidential actions. Is that showing disrespect to the president? I don't understand it. In fact, the Speaker has been accorded the respect. He gave his ruling. Nobody contested him. The people went to court, which is what the Speaker himself would have done if he was in that situation. How is that flexing of muscles? I don't understand. If anybody disagreed with Parliament or the executive and went to court, How is that flexing muscles? What, you don't believe in the rule of law? You believe in the rule of the speaker? Even the president of Ghana is subject to the constitution. The president of Ghana is subject to the constitution. All of us are subject to the constitution. It's the constitution which is supreme, not the president, not the speaker. So if the president takes an action and people disagree, what the rule of law provides is that when you disagree, go to court and seek a proper interpretation. That can never be described as flexing of muscles or disrespect to anybody. In fact, it is rather deepening our democracy and furthering the rule of law. And the society will move when all of us abide by the law. The speaker should abide by the law, which is the ruling from the Supreme Court. That is the way forward. This business of, what are we being told? That we should now go and look for what? Cool heads. And we should now go and look for maturity. And there should be political. What is all of that? That has been resolved. And so that is the law. And when the law is there, you just have to abide by it. Look, all of us, we have levels of authority. You have levels of authority. Right? You sitting here, you have levels. You are at a certain level of authority, isn't it? And so you expect that if your mandate is properly exercised, and you exercise that mandate, you expect that it should be followed. If somebody disagrees with you and there's a recourse to the board or to whoever, they can do that. But that is the rule of law. The law provides for redress. The speaker is at a level of authority. If he also gives a ruling and people said, we won't obey and go on their own frolic, how would we have an orderly society? So the speaker should obey the law, which is what the Supreme Court has laid down. Are we not going to beg him to obey the law? What have we been told?
Which law?
The law in this case is that those 4 seats have not been vacated.
Yeah, but
Simple.
The speaker hasn't taken any action to suggest that he intends not to obey the law.
Now, what is the confusion Okudzeto is talking about?
Okudzeto is talking about Parliament going back. I mean, recalling Parliament. That's what he's talking about.
And why is Parliament not meeting over this case? Why is Parliament not meeting? It's over this case.
How is it over this case?
Why is Parliament not meeting?
Because they didn't form a quorum for a meeting. That's what the speaker announced. Yes.
Really?
Yes. At the last
what
sitting.
quorum?
A quorum for decision making. That was what the speaker announced in adjourning Sinidai.
Do you know a quorum for a meeting? Just 1/3 of the Parliament.
No. No, I mean decision making. That's what.
But you hadn't come to a decision. Ask Okudzeto. He will tell you. Sometimes they start Parliament with 20 people. 20 people.
Yeah, if nobody raises it, fine.
And then when you go on, other people come. You don't look for a quorum at the beginning.
No, but
in any case, if there's no quorum at a sitting,
yes,
do you adjourn the House Sinidai? You adjourn to the next day. I've sat in Parliament forever. These things are common. Okudzeto tell you. If there's no quorum, to take a particular decision on a particular day, sometimes you even adjourn for a few hours. That's what you do.
No, but this was the last one was an emergency sitting for a particular day. So how does he adjourn to the next day?
The people came. Look, on your calendar, when is this meeting supposed to end, Sammy?
Today.
On your calendar.
Today.
No, on this calendar.
Today.
It's supposed to end today. So it was just for a week or 2?
No. I mean, they were supposed to end a break today for elections.
Oh, you're supposed to break today?
Yes, and then
so
come
that
back
means the
after
meeting was supposed to be just for 2 weeks or so. Because this whole matter has been
about
like
3 weeks.
About 3 weeks. Yes. Okay. So now the 3 weeks is all, nothing has been done. Now, You said that when the speaker came, there was no quorum. There was a quorum. There was a quorum to start business. And
he said there was no business. In fact, that's what he said. I don't remember. He said that there was no, what do you call it? Is it other paper?
But
there was no business.
But you would agree that all of this stalemate is related to the matter of the 4 seats.
Yes.
Now, the matter of the 4 seats has been resolved. That's all. So the way forward is that all the parties concerned would now have to obey and move forward.
In what way? How?
How?
Yes.
What do you mean how?
No, I mean, tell me how. So practically today, what should be done? What should happen?
Well, if all of us obey, we will find a way out.
Now, how do we? I just want you to demonstrate to me. How do we do it?
I'm saying to you that the impasse, that caused Parliament not to sit in the last 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks has now been resolved. Hasn't it been resolved? The impasse has now been resolved. So now they should sit down and see how they can, because Samuel Kujato is saying that the meeting is supposed to finish today.
The original calendar.
The original calendar is supposed to finish today. But those 3 weeks, they haven't met because of this impasse. So now they have to sit down. The minority, the majority, the speaker, sit down and see if they will reschedule, what date will they reschedule it that to be in the interest of everybody and so on. But as to...
But I thought that was exactly what he was
no, I don't have a problem.
He was advocating.
No. But how can anybody be not in favor of a meeting to plot their way forward? That's not a problem. But the comments that the speaker is being disrespected and is not being given, people are flexing muscles, and people are meddling with Parliament, and that's why is the president silent, and some of these other things. Those are the things that I didn't understand. That cool head should be fine. If the meeting is supposed to come to an end, all the parties need to sit down to see how do we reschedule the meeting. Can we reschedule for a week? What is the timelines are and so on. There's no problem with that. But this business of people are disrespecting the Parliament and the Speaker and all of that because of a court action. How? That is the way to go. When there's a misunderstanding, instead of fighting on the floor and disgracing Parliament, you should go to the courts and get.
But I'm not sure that Sami said that.
But you heard him say that the Speaker.
I'm saying that I'm not sure. I didn't hear Sami say that the decision to go to court was disrespectful of the Speaker.
So what was the disrespect to the Speaker?
Maybe you should ask him, because I heard him talk about commentary.
We are talking commentary.
Yes, I heard him speak about, refer to commentary, not the decision to go to court.
What commentary?
So, Izanadan, I would like to respond.
Yeah, respond. Yeah. What commentary were you talking about?
So let me respond very quickly.
Now the president hasn't come yet.
Nana
Nana
Akomia knows that he's being deliberately disingenuous to me.
Why?
Nobody will have an issue with a citizen going to court. Nobody will take issue with that. What you don't do is that you have gone to court, or you're on your way to court, and then you are berating, you are haranguing, you are attacking the Speaker.
Who did that?
We have heard Afenyo Makin, the person who went to court. I have some of the words here. Speaker Bagbin is behaving like an emperor. Speaker Bagbin wants to be Speaker under Mahama, and that's why he's doing what he's doing. Speaker Bagbin is supervising chaos. He conspired with the NDC MPs and allowed them to sit on the majority side. Speaker Bagbin is a usurper, usurping the authority of the courts. Speaker Bagbin is lawless. Viewers can go online. Numerous attacks, an avalanche of attacks on the Speaker. Is that proper? You know you will come and work with this Speaker.
Now, this is not a critique of the Speaker's actions.
Yes, this cannot be a critique. They may not get their January salaries. There are other urgent matters. The EC has not appeared before us for us to assess their readiness for these elections, the security services. It happens every 4 years when we are going to elections. We haven't had that opportunity. Yeah, so I'm talking about the political solution. And wise citizens have said that, look, you people, the only way forward is a political solution. This flexing of muscles, this bad language, coarse language, caustic language, these attacks that's largely coming from the minority leader as he was, attacking the speaker, it's not helpful. It's not taking us anywhere. So Nana Kumia cannot pretend this morning that he has not heard his own collaborator, his younger collaborator, Fenyo Makin. He cannot say he hasn't heard him.
But Samuel,
so nobody is questioning the decision to go to court.
If you believe.
But when you've gone to court,
fine. Yeah,
why do you have to be holding press conferences and launching something? Now we need a political solution. We have to sit and make concessions, agree on a day to meet. Yeah. So that at least budget can be approved, EC, and all of those urgent matters. How can we do that? Can Fenyo Makin really, after all the things he has said, I didn't even complete the list. You know, after all he has said, how is that political solution, that negotiation, going to be successful with all of this bad blood? That is what I'm raising. So that's why leadership. Fine. Remember, I said about 2 weeks ago that I don't see a leader like the Honorable Osei Mensah going on this path. He would not have done. He would have brought a lot of experience, to bear. He would not have gone. Then quickly, let me deal with this matter of, again, another unfair attack on the speaker that he should just have adjourned to the next day. Let me read the summons that brought us to Parliament. The summons that brought us to Parliament, dated 31st October 2024. Notice to summon Parliament pursuant to Article 1123 of the Constitution 1992 and the Standing Orders of Parliament. Pursuant to Article 1123 and Orders 5 and 53 of the Standing Orders of the Parliament of Ghana, I, Right Honourable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, Speaker of Parliament, hereby summon Parliament to sit on 7th November 2024 at 10 o'clock in the forenoon at the Grand Arena, Accra International Conference Center. So take note. It was a one-day sitting. We were not summoned to sit 7th, 8th, 9th. One day, 7th November. And it concludes, dated in the office of the Speaker of Parliament, Accra, Ghana, this 31st day of October 2024. Signed by the Right Honourable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, Speaker of Parliament. So this was the summons that brought us to Parliament. For a one-day sitting. We come for the sitting. The people who triggered the emergency recall did not show up. They didn't attend upon the meeting. When you trigger a recall, before Parliament sits, our standing orders requires that you send the business to the business committee. The business committee must meet, program the business to be transacted for that day. Our leader, the Honourable Dr. Atufosi, was waiting, made several calls, called his counterpart. His calls were ignored. The business committee did not meet. You say that Speaker Bagbin should have adjourned to the next day. How? You're an experienced parliamentarian. On what basis? There was really no basis for that. The summon was for one day. Business committee didn't meet. The day of the summons is over.
Have you finished?
So please, let's stop. You see, they continue with the unfair attacks on the speaker.
If your aide will not wash, Samuel Kujeto, if you say that commentary by the minority leader has been heated, and so you want commentary to be guided as we go forward, who will have a problem with that? Because people also have had problems with the commentary of the speaker. The speaker's press conference that he gave. People have also seen them as attacks. Okay? That one, you haven't seen it.
Can you show me?
Please. That one, you haven't seen it. I've asked Randy to forward it to me. So I'm saying that if you say, we should be minded by our commentary and so on, it's both sides, and nobody will have a problem with that. But you give the clear impression that The going to court. In fact,
I never said that. I never
when you're
said
speaking, you said the flexing of muscles, going to court is an attempt to stop the speaker from carrying out his mandate and all of that. You get the clear impression that the going to court amounts to disrespecting the speaker, undermining parliament.
Impression only in your head.
Because you use the words.
Dr. Abe is here. He didn't get that impression.
You use the. Sammy.
It's only in your head.
Sammy.
It's only in your propagandist head.
Okay. You can attack me all you want. It's not a problem. But listen.
You're putting words in my mouth. I didn't say.
You use the words going to court. As you're speaking, I was writing. You use the word flexing of muscles by going to court. It's an attempt to stop the speaker from carrying out his mandate. It's a meddling in parliament. How is intemperate language, if your so-called intemperate, how is that a meddling in parliament? How is that meddling in parliament? How is that an attempt to stop the speaker from doing his work? If somebody uses intemperate language, how does that amount to stopping the speaker from doing his work? How? If that's what you meant, how does intemperate language by anybody amount to stopping the speaker from doing his work? Or stopping parliament from doing its work? Or meddling with parliament, as you told us? How? How about then language used by people from your side? How? How about that one? Your collaborators and yourself and your collaborators. How about the language used? The language of the speaker himself in his press conference. How about it? Samuel Kujato. And then you come and say somebody is doing propaganda. Now, you're talking of, now he says that you're marking his spiritual realm. You know, this spiritual realm thing reminds me of our President Mahama. You know, one of the reasons he gave for his loss of elections in 2016 was that he said that the NPP had done something spiritually to Ghanaians. He gave an interview to Kofi Nwangwani. I'm sure you've seen it. If you haven't, I'll forward it to you. And Kofi Nwangwani, the reporter, asked him, but all of these things that you said you have done, data center and blah, blah, and Nkrumah interchange and all of that, how come the people didn't see and vote for you? He said, oh, the NPP had done something to, you know, spiritually to the minds of the Ghanaians. So everything that Mahama was doing, people couldn't see it. Maybe that's the cue that Samuel Kujato is talking about. But the clear point, and then you also mentioned the adjournment. He said he couldn't adjourn to the next day because it was a one-day sitting. It was a one-day sitting. When are you going to have, what, I'm a little confused. All the issues that you mentioned, the budget, the Galamsey thing.
Yeah, the Electoral Commission.
And the Electoral Commission thing. Were you going to do all of that in one day?
Yeah, that was not on the request of those who signed for it. They didn't talk about the budget.
No, I'm saying that if it was a one-day sitting.
Yeah, emergency sitting, you know, are for specific.
No problem.
Yeah,
so it's an emergency sitting.
Yeah.
And so the speaker could not adjourn to the next day. That's what you are saying.
Yes.
I'm saying that, so that emergency sitting, was the sitting to deal with Electoral Commission?
No. They had specific requests. They had their own matters. That is, there was the free SHS bill, there was tax waivers. Those were,
how is it called? Is it called a petition? What is it called?
Yeah, petition.
So that document, the request, the request had what they wanted to be discussed. The reason why
on that one day.
Yes, the reason why they are calling for the emergency.
And what was the reason?
If he has it, he will be able to tell us.
I'll get it for you. But I recall there was the free SHS bill, there was the tax waivers. Yeah. They didn't have they didn't have the budget, they didn't have the Electoral Commission. They didn't have that.
So it was just for two items.
Largely. I think there was one more. I'll get it for you.
Now, Randy.
Yes.
But certainly the budget was not part of it.
There were two adjournments.
Yes.
There were two adjournments.
Yes. This is the latest one.
Yes. The first one.
Yes.
Why didn't they adjourn to the next day?
Okay.
That is it.
All right. Okay. So we'll take a break. When we return, the latest expose by the chairman of the Assurances Committee. Nana, will you be Nana?
Is it not the chairman?
Nana, today is the 15th of Nana, today is the 15th of November, right?
Yes.
So practically,
we have 10 days plus 15 days plus 5.
I'm calculating to the 6th of January.
Ah, okay.
So we basically have 7 weeks. 7 weeks to the handover. Not so.
Yeah.
7 weeks to the handover.
Yeah.
Oh, just 7.
7 weeks.
Yeah.
Why don't you focus on the
7?
We're in crunch time.
When I ask the question, you appreciate why I'm doing that. 7 weeks to the election.
To the handover.
Yes. Why would any government want to order 18 brand new Land Cruisers and 4 brand new Tundras?
For who?
For itself. 7 weeks to handover.
I'm not aware.
18 brand new. Will you find it strange?
I'll find it strange.
18 Land Cruisers and 4 Tundras.
I'll find it. Well, we must know the purpose, but
no, with 7 weeks to go.
Ordinarily, I'll find it strange.
All right. Okay. We'll be back shortly.
There's nothing worse than your multi-bet missing, but nothing better than having it saved. BetSaver.
Hey guys, so I got this app. It's called Ayoba. It's a chat app that helps me with beauty tips and cooking tips. A super app that feeds me music and the latest sports content. I even use it for my studies. And the good news is, I don't need to use my data bundle because I'm on MTN. Chale, the app just did be.
Ayoba, the all-in-one app that lets you chat, call, read, play, pay, and listen. Use Ayoba at no data cost on MTN. Download Ayoba now.
Who are you? Who are you? Charlie, I'll be you from the future. Who doesn't sleep on that slice of bready poor mattress anymore? Don some slippers, then follow me.
You just buy the mattress we did the front there.
Yeah?
That'll be the mattress where the dead go.
Wait, what are you doing? Wow! No damage at all. Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like Ash Foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
The luckiest.
Star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere.
8K. Hey, you get an 8K. Get back packing from your command. One lie. Hey, wait.
You go put it on his tab. This is my man.
Good luck. Bill radio. We are star 712. It's put your phone. Someone dialing the magic numbers. Star 712. Now welcome to the luckiest. And now with me at home ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved one.
Mommy, tell mommy who's here.
You're buying for me, right?
Or who else?
Oh.
Let me choose buy tickets for others.
Love you, boo boo.
Maybe straight to option 4. Now we try. You need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or preferred tickets. I'll see the random ticket. Listen, if you buy the random ticket, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. 5.
Baby, give me your 5 numbers.
And how much are we buying?
Babe, look at the body and buy you.
With your body,
Hey,
there, tread cautiously. Now follow the prompts and confirm. Now with the luckiest
The Luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. TNCs apply.
John, number one.
Experience the enhanced protection of Star Motor Third Party Extra from Star Assurance, an enhanced motor third party insurance policy that provides cover for loss or damage to your vehicle's windscreens, side mirrors, back glass, and other glass components. Whether it's a crack or major damage, you can drive with the assurance that your vehicle is well protected. Our commitment to you includes affordable coverage options and a claims process that is both fast and straightforward, so you spend less time dealing with paperwork and more time on the road. Also, we have proudly partnered with Hope for Little Lives, an organization dedicated to supporting children in need. By choosing Star Motor Third Party Extra, you're protecting your vehicle and making a positive impact. Every policy you buy helps bring joy and support to children in underserved communities. Reach out to us now on our toll-free numbers 0800-177-177 or 0302-245-906 to sign up. Let us help you drive with peace of mind and purpose. Star Motor Third Party Extra. Drive with confidence, give back with heart.
Star Assurance, your solid partner.
Using Koa Mixture, Koa Plus Mixture, and Koa MT Mixture, brought to you by Koa Research and Manufacturing Limited Company, proudly made in Ghana. Formulated to support your general well-being. For those seeking immune system support, there is Koa Plus Mixture. Support your body's defenses and stay strong. When it comes to combating malaria, Koa MT Mixture will aid your treatments. For effective relief from malaria symptoms, try Koa MT Mixture. Koa Mixture, Koa Plus Mixture, and Koa MT Mixture are not recommended for pregnant women, lactating mothers, and children under 12 years. Always take a malaria test before using Koa MT Mixture. Choose Koa Mixture, Koa Plus Mixture, and Koa MT Mixture for your health needs. Available now at pharmacies nationwide. For bulk purchases, contact 0244-726611 or 0591-565-778. This advert is
Here's Kwame and Yao. After hours of planning, both have locked in the same perfect multi-bet. Big win for United, over 1.5. And both teams to score in the London Derby. But who could have picked Leicester over City? Or a high-scoring game at the Bridge? There's nothing worse than having your perfect multi-bet missing. But there's nothing better than having it saved. Bet saver, win, even if your bet misses.
Apomode wonsem yemfen diagro enunti nese wonum edopapa nko Exodus moringa capsules ene Exodus dandelion capsules efi Exodus ebusuanum na ebeboa wa pomodem emu bia wo benya no betimi aboa nanso se wonya to no a wo betimi andom abom na ebeboa papa se wonum Exodus moringa capsules ne Exodus dandelion capsules eboa mamoja di efusani yi na fe ebusi wo immune system no na kweti ayarewa ahodo minim yi se ni padodo na nim dia moringa etimi ye na dandelion so ye nim enunti ni nkasa bedru enye ma pemfo ana abatan a oma enifo ana abofra onya emfidumi Exodus ehua dance die doso
Tetuna tiamo hana ayame de say mitu anamaho mabaha me ye list of baby a me ko Ghana e man nyina no tetuma tia e ba so say mintimi ntwamu tia ati sa me ba
2025 na set for 2025 nobody won I swear you only Ghana 2025. The secret is open up. Let's say January 25, you will leave Ghana. Nobody will leave Ghana except you. Let's say the Lord of
munyina mu woko promoti ma wa ya nyame dia mamu yi munyu suro eni die mu mama ma obi embeto mo shabre na wakase obema mu sika na monkoto afi we nso bosumi ayekoto aba no hwa eyesan 12 na mun kan hu se ebo 12 o'clock ewiabo se sambo 12 o'clock biema ade eche se 12 months ne ba pe afini sisa ekire se nyankopon ode sisa ye bi ba enti na ukọ ballot ne so ube kai 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 ube use aya branche na ho ono pa ene wotru yi ni aka ni na aya kokafo
Energy drink.
Dr. Baumian once said,
every constituency will get $1 million every year for rural and deprived communities. Under this program, there should be no village or community in Ghana after the first 2 years that would have a water problem or a toilet problem.
Next joke, please. Vote John Dramani Mahama for president. Trustworthy, honest, and reliable. Vote for change. Choose the umbrella. Vote John Dramani Mahama and the NDC.
There's nothing worse than your multi-bet missing, but nothing better than having it saved. BetSaver.
Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Still with me on the show, Abnana Kumia and Samuel Kujatua Blackram. But you've all been there before. You've placed the perfect multi-bet and it's all going your way until it's not. And one or more picks let you down. Well, with Betway's BetSaver feature, you can win even if your bet misses. Even on multiple losses, you can get your bet back and more. BetSaver is exclusive to Betway. Get way more. Terms and conditions apply. This is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet the responsible way. Betway. Get way more. Now, Chairman, you have raised an issue of public health, fraud, unethical conduct, and many, many more. And it's about some food that is being given to our students. And I read what you posted yesterday, and reading the details, you get to see allegations of official complicity and all those things, and it gets extremely worrying. I'm sure you've also seen the Ministry of Education's response to you on the matter. For the benefit of our viewers, what is this latest expose of yours?
Yeah, Doc, I think viewer discretion should be advised at this point. It makes for stomach churning findings. It is really traumatizing. I have intercepted numerous documents, samples of rice, bill of ladings, police reports, FDA reports, and other documents which confirmed beyond any scintilla of doubt, any iota of doubt, that our children in senior high schools have been fed with expired and contaminated rice. Let me begin by stating that according to the bill of lading I have here, the consignee, a company known as Lamens Investment Africa Limited, imported rice from India. The brand
Lamens, how is it spelled?
Lamens,
Okay.
Lamens Investment Africa Limited. They imported rice, having been single sourced by the National Food Buffer Stock Company to import rice for the Free SHS Secretariat to serve our children in senior high schools. The rice was received by the 3rd of December 2021 at the ports, but could not be cleared for a considerable length of time. The notified party, as we have here on the original bill of lading, is the National Food Buffer Stock Company. It has emerged from unimpeachable findings that the National Food Buffer Stock Company Limited conspired with Lamens Investment Africa Limited to rebag this expired Moshosho rice. The Moshosho rice from India expired in December 2023. Seeing that the rice has expired, Lamens and the National Food Buffer Stock Company went into a conspiracy to have the rice rebagged, because they knew that if they sent the expired rice to the schools, headmasters will protest, students will protest.
They will see the expiry
They will see the expiry on the original Moshosho bag of rice. So they then secured 2 bags, different bags of rice. One largely an ECOWAS rice bag, and then a plain bag, 50 kg bag. On both bags, they wrote "Made in Ghana." Made in Ghana. No longer made in India, which is where the rice came from. They wrote "Made in Ghana." Then even worse, in flagrant violation of LI 1541.
So these 2 pictures, please help me. And our viewers, you will see these pictures in the next 5 seconds. There's Moshosho rice to the left.
Yes, that's what was important.
So this is the original.
Original.
Yes.
And you see the best before date, December 2023.
Yes.
Then they transfer it into this one, ECOWAS Sidao.
Yes.
And you see the origin, Ghana.
Wow.
Made in Ghana. And no expiry date.
Okay.
And this is what they sent to the schools.
And this was done by who?
This rebagging was not being done at a hideout, some secret location. It was done at the storage facility of the National Food Buffer Stock Company in Kumasi. Will you believe that?
In Kumasi?
In Kumasi. So,
yeah. The 22,000 bags.
Yes.
So they rebagged.
Yes.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So,
and you have the evidence.
Yes, I have the evidence.
Rebagging.
Yes, of the rebagging. Now, when they got to 15,000 of the 22,000, when they got to 15,000, one of the people involved, I think, had a conscience breakdown. So tipped off the Ashanti Regional Police Command that, look, we can't continue with this thing. So you go and check the Buffer Stock Company storage facility. So the Ashanti Regional Police Command rushed there. This same...
When was this?
This same patriot. This was around the 20th of December, 2023. This same patriot tipped off the FDA in Ashanti region. They also rushed there. By the time the FDA Ashanti region rushed to location, the storage facility, the police had done a good job. They had apprehended the people and closed down the facility. Then calls started coming from above that they should let the people go. The next day, on the 21st of December 2023, the Ashanti Regional Police Command wrote this letter dated 21st December 2023, signed by J.J. Boy, Superintendent in charge of crime in Ashanti region, addressed to the Regional Director, Food and Drugs Authority, Kumasi Ashanti. Say, request for assistance. The Regional Criminal Investigation Department of Ghana Police Service, Kumasi Ashanti, is investigating a case of being in possession of alleged unwholesome Moshosho bags of rice stocked at the National Food and Buffer Stock Warehouse, Buokrom, Kumasi. Investigations have reached a stage where sample of the suspected Moshosho rice needs to be examined to ascertain whether or not the rice has expired or good for consumption. I would be very grateful if your outfit could assist in examining the rice and report, counting on your usual cooperation, please. So this is dated 21st December 2023. They attach their samples. FDA in Ashanti says that they don't have the labs and the capacity, so they send it to Accra, the headquarters, for the samples to be tested. Doc and Nana and our viewers, would you believe that before the test results will come from FDA headquarters in Accra, an order came from above that they should release the rice?
The police?
No, an order came from above that the police and FDA Ashanti should just back off. And the children need food to eat. They should release the rice to the schools.
Who gave that order?
I know the person, but unfortunately, the evidence I want,
you don't have
nail
it.
the person. I don't have it yet.
So somebody told you, all right.
So I'm doing some work. Yes, a top official within the FDA setup told me where the order came from. Yes, who called them to back off.
FDA is the Food and Drugs.
The Food and Drugs Authority. So I have the evidence of release of the items.
Sammy, at this stage, when at the time the samples were sent to FDA in Accra, the bags of rice had not been distributed.
Yes, at this stage it had not been distributed.
The police and FDA had taken control of the warehouse.
Exactly.
And the rice.
Yes, they had locked it up. Yeah, they locked it up, and they were seeking to contain it. You know, to prevent it from going out. But then an order
awaiting receipt of the
awaiting receipt of the test results. But then an order came from above.
But Sammy, you must be careful. Yes. This order from above remains an allegation.
Yes.
Yes, yes. But don't worry. When I conclude, you will see that it clearly was an order from above. So I hold in my hands here the release of the rice to the various schools, those who signed for them, the various headmasters who signed. So this is a confirmation that indeed.
Who released the rice to them?
So the police and then the FDA. And those who received it have signed. So you have company name, Lamens Ventures Enterprise, then the signatories of those who received it. This is for St. Monica SHS, Mampong, received 1st February 2024. 520 bags of the 50 kg Moshosho rice repackaged. I also have here my own alma mater, sadly, Presec Legon. They received 1,093 bags on the 2nd of February this year. I also have Konongo Odumasi SHS. And before I move to Konongo, let me state that, just in case, Randy, you think that your alma mater was exempted. So Presec is the central warehouse for Greater Accra. So when Presec receives, they share with all the secondary schools in Greater Accra. So your alma mater, Accra Academy, Achimota, Accra Girls, Laboni, Chemu, Tema, all of them will pick their supplies from Presec. Then I also have here the signed sheets of Konongo Edumasi Senior High School, who received theirs for schools in the Ashanti region. Now, this is where it gets so frightening and so tragic. By the 6th of February 2024, the FDA results come in. I hold it. 6th of February, 4 days after they had released. Yes.
Okay.
So they had released the rice, distributed to our schools, so recklessly, so callously, without knowing the outcome of the test results. So 4 days after, the test results arrive from the FDA. And I have the certificate of analysis here. I'll share them with you. Lo and behold, the certificate of analysis shows that the rice was unwholesome. It had a high percentage of the presence of insects, according to the FDA, is here. And it does not conform to standards, according to the FDA. The analyst is here, Mary Vivian Hammond, Mariana Kome, Joseph Ofosu Siam, they've all signed. The FDA analysis also shows that the rice had a high fat acidity. So you know that I'm not a medical doctor, everybody knows that. So I brought in medical doctors to analyze this FDA test results. And what they told me, very frightening, that this is rice that should not even be given to animals. That the consequences are dire. It can even lead to liver cancer. That this should have been destroyed. Unfortunately, this is after the fact. They didn't wait for the FDA examination results. They had already fed our students with this 22,000 bags of expired, contaminated food. Now, this FDA results confirms what the FDA wanted to do originally. I have intercepted their original internal memo of 29 December 2023.
The FDA.
The FDA, after the tip-off, where they recommended 3 things, their legal department recommended 3 things that should happen. 1, immediately, they should stop the repackaging exercise. 2, contact the office of the FDA to initiate the process of safe disposal of the 15,000 bags of rebagged rice. So they wanted the 15,000 bags disposed of, destroyed. Then 3, fine the company Lamens 150,000 Ghana cedis. This was the recommendation.
So the fine was for the repackaging?
For the repackaging.
Okay.
This was the original recommendation. This recommendation also changed.
To what?
To a reduced fine of 100,000. And then they said they will await the FDA results.
So they had established that indeed the company was rebagging, which they shouldn't do.
Exactly.
So they are fining them 100,000 cedis.
Exactly.
For engaging in that illegal act.
Yes.
But in terms of the wholesomeness or otherwise of it, they wait for the.
Yes. And then the order comes from above, and they also cave in.
So they didn't wait for the result from Accra.
Yes.
And they released the rice.
And they released the rice.
Okay.
The FDA and the police.
And the buffer stock.
Yes.
Distributed the rice.
Distributed the rice.
Okay.
The buffer stock and the free SHS secretariat.
They distributed the rice.
And I have confirmed from the heads that indeed the rice came. Those are their signatures. One of them tells me that he raised the issue of the no expiry date. But
so this rice they received them in the ECOWAS bag.
Yes, ECOWAS bag.
Not the Moshosho
No,
bag.
not the Moshosho.
Okay.
Indeed, they are saying that until this expose, they didn't know that it was Moshosho rice.
They thought it was made in Ghana
They
rice.
thought it was made in Ghana rice.
Okay.
And you see what we do to the made in Ghana effort. If these children eat that rice, they saw made in Ghana, if they keep falling sick, and they graduate and they don't want to go near made in Ghana rice, then you turn around and attack Ghanaians that we are not patriotic. We don't go for made in Ghana. But you haven't heard the worst.
Okay.
Randy. This company laments. I have done further work on laments. It has no track record. It was clearly set up for this deal. Set up just a few weeks to they getting this contract on 30th July 2020. The directors are David Ajefi Mensah and Simon Ajay. And indeed, one of the directors, Simon Ajay, was on location at the time the police rounded them up. The director of this company. He was on location at the place, supervising the rebagging. I have a letter here from Laments to the Food and Drugs Authority, admitting their wrongdoing and agreeing to pay the fine. And they paid half. Let me read that letter. It's a short letter. 3rd January 2024, Food and Drugs Authority. Attention, Chief Executive Officer. Dear Sir or Madam, unauthorized repackaging of Moshosho rice. We refer to the above subject matter and your letter reference, FDA ASH 23099, dated 29 December 2023. We hereby attach payment receipt of 50,000 Ghana cedis, being half of the administrative charge levied on our company for infractions on sections 1031 and 1301 of the Public Health Act 2012 at 851. Yours faithfully, David Ajefi Mensah. Signed. So they attach the receipt, the 50,000 cedis. Will you believe that? That's all they have paid. All they have, the loss they have suffered really, if you even call it a loss. A slap on the wrist, only 50,000 cedis for this attempted mass murder of our children. Only 50,000 cedis. They have not even paid the balance. Now, let's come to the laws. What does the Public Health Act 2012 at 851 say? If you look at section 103, the Public Health Act is very clear. It says that a person who manufactures, labels, packages, sells, or advertises food in a manner that is false, misleading, deceptive, or misbranded, as they did all of this. As regards its character, nature, value, additive, substance, quality, quantity, composition, merit, or safety, commits an offense. You come to section 106 of Act 851. It says that a person shall not manufacture a food for sale unless the food is manufactured under the supervision of a person with appropriate knowledge and qualification who can ensure the purity, quality, and wholesomeness of the food. So what they were doing at the National Food Buffer Stock Storage Facility in Kumasi, it should have been under supervision if they knew they had nothing to hide. The FDA, under the Public Health Act, the FDA should have been there. They should have invited them. They should have been there. They were not. When you come to section 130 of Act 851, it says that a person shall not manufacture for sale, sell, supply, or store products regulated under this part, except in premises registered for that purpose under this part. Are you aware that up to now, up to today, as we speak this morning, the National Food Buffer Stock Company has not registered 8 storage facilities across the country with the Food and Drugs Authority? I have here a full report that the FDA conducted on this matter. Very damning findings. Let me read the findings. And you see, this report exposes the Ministry of Education statement that they issued last night, saying that this has come to their notice for the first time by me, that they commend me and that they are going to commence criminal investigations. I said, please, can we be honest? This FDA report exposes the Ministry of Education that they were contacted several months ago.
How does he expose them?
I'm going to read.
Yes.
So, this is a report signed by the head of the FDA Ashanti region, John Laye Odai Tete. It says, report on a preliminary investigation on alleged unauthorized rebagging of rice by the National Buffer Stock. The Ashanti Regional Office of the Food and Drugs Authority received an alert on 20th December 2023 about repackaging rice, which had not been authorized by the FDA, being carried out at the storage facility of the National Buffer Stock in the Ashanti region. A team of officers were dispatched to the said location to ascertain the veracity of the alert, for the appropriate regulatory action to be taken in the interest of public health and safety. Upon arrival at the site, the FDA officers detected that the storage facility had been locked down. When inquired from people around the facility, the team was informed that the action was taken by officers of the Central Command of the Ghana Police Service. The FDA team then continued to the police command for further discussion. The team, together with a team of police officers, led by the regional crime officer, moved to the facility to ascertain the veracity of the alert. These are our findings. The findings outlined below were arrived at during the preliminary investigation at the storage facility, as well as a meeting held with the Deputy Education Minister, Honorable Reverend John Intim Fojo. So why is the Ministry of Education saying that if I didn't put out this expose, they didn't know? A Deputy Minister of Education. And he continues, and two representatives of the importer, Lamens Investment Africa Limited, namely Eli Dogbe, Operations Manager, and Simon Ejay, Ashanti Regional Coordinator. They were all on site. They were initially arrested, and the order came from above that they should be released. Eli Dogbe and Simon Ejay. The FDA discovered that the Moshosho rice is 25% broken white rice with registration number FDA CE 2701 was imported by Lamens Investment Africa. The notified party is the National Food Buffer Stock Company. The rice was exported from India by Satya Balaji, Rice Industries PVT Limited.
Who are the culprits in this matter?
The National Buffer Stock Company, the CEO, Abdul Wahab, must not get away. I hear he's your parliamentary candidate in Pusiga. He has questions to answer because the people did not.
What's his name?
Abdul Wahab.
So
and then the board, you know, the board is chaired by Nanabi, the MPP national organizer. Yeah, they have questions because they opened their facility. They conspired with Lamens. Lamens was not
rebagging took
for the rebagging. It took place in their facility, and then they haven't registered this facility. They failed to call the FDA to supervise, as required by law. Okay. So National Buffer Stock.
But who gave the contract for the rice? National Buffer.
National Buffer Stock. Yes. So let me continue with this report. It says the facility had been repackaging Moshosho rice from its original yellow 50 kg polypropylene bags, figure 1, into white 50 kg polypropylene bags with the inscription Sidao ECOWAS, Regional Food Security Reserve, figure 2. Whilst the best before date on the Moshosho rice was December 2023, there was no date on the new bags being used for the repackaging. Additionally, the country of origin, India, had been changed to Ghana, thus concealing the identity of the rice. The repackaging exercise was carried out without FDA's approval nor supervision. The storage facility had neither been licensed for storage nor for repackaging. The facility had no qualified trained person to supervise its activities. According to the operations manager, 11,000 metric tons of rice was received in February 2022. This has been confirmed by 2 bills of lading attached. The consignment was originally kept in a bonded warehouse in Tema, Limburg, due to issues with tariffs. The quantity of the storage facility in Kumasi is 23,000 by 50 kg bags, whilst that at the Limburg bonded warehouse is approximately 10,000. Realizing how close the best before date was, Lamens Investment Africa Limited took samples of the rice to Food Research Institute to analyze for the possibility of extension of the shelf life. Having received a letter of shelf life extension from the exporter, the importer, according to the operations manager, wrote to the authority head office requesting for approval to repackage the said consignment of rice. However, no reply had come from the Food Research Institute. No reply had been received prior to the repackaging. A lawless lot. Lawless. Carlos, Medros. And as we speak, since February, nobody has been held accountable. When I spoke to the heads of the schools, they told me that typically these supplies can stay in the storage facilities for about 4 or 5 months, sometimes 6 months, before it's all consumed. You know that it's not consumed the same day. So if by January, February, FDA certified examination analysis shows that this food was contaminated in January, February, you can imagine by the time children are consuming this in March, April, May, June, July, because we all know that the longer it stays, the worse the contamination levels. And this is what we are doing to our children. And nobody has been held accountable. The only fake attempt was that 50,000. And after that, they are not even paying the rest.
And the rice has been distributed and consumed.
And consumed, all of them.
And
I've checked with the heads.
What were sent to the school were
they repackaged.
Yes, those that showed that the rice was from Ghana.
Was from Ghana.
With no expiry date.
No expiry date.
It was ECOWAS rice.
ECOWAS. I hope ECOWAS too is watching what Ghana is doing with their name.
So on the basis of your expose, the spokesperson at Ministry of Education, Kwesi Kwarteng, says an immediate investigation has been launched to determine the validity of these claims.
Oh, the ministry has issued a statement.
Yes, and he expressed appreciation for your feedback, the call what you did feedback. They acknowledge that your concerns are essential to their mission of maintaining high standards in Ghana's educational institutions. Quote, we take these allegations seriously and as a matter of urgency have commenced a full investigation. The ministry has enlisted a National Food Buffer Stock Company. The people who did it.
Yes, yeah.
And the Ghana Commodity Exchange, the key organizations responsible for food supply and distribution to senior high schools, to assist in the investigation. Both agencies are expected to contribute insights and data to ensure a comprehensive examination of the issue. The ministry assures students, parents, guardians, and the general public of its dedication to safeguarding the health and safety of all students. It promised a transparent approach with timely updates to be provided as the investigation unfolds. And he reaffirmed the ministry's commitment stating, we will pursue this matter to the end and ensure that the public is informed of the outcomes. You, however, say that the ministry is engaged in deception.
Grand deception.
Because as far as you're concerned,
yes,
as far back as when?
Yes, as January.
January 2024.
Yes.
The ministry was aware.
Was notified. And the FDA investigation committee spoke to Reverend John Intim Fojo, the Deputy Minister of Education, on this matter. So why are they pretending that I have brought this to their attention? That is why I insist that we need an independent, impartial investigation.
So this
the Ministry of Education is complicit.
This was brought to the attention of the Deputy Minister in January.
In January.
But the rice was distributed in February.
In February. And look, the heavy political pressure brought to bear that this rice should be distributed came from the Ministry of Education. Let me drop that hint today.
Okay.
It came from the Ministry of Education. And I know exactly who did that. We will smoke them out soon.
So you say that you do not agree with the ministry's investigation?
Yes, I cannot trust that it will be independent.
This action even betrays their dishonesty.
Exactly. Because the report is here. The FDA report is here. Reverend John Intim Fojo is mentioned here. He was engaged on this matter. Unless the ministry wants to tell us that Reverend Intim Fojo didn't bring it to the attention of his boss and did not appear before this committee in his official capacity. Unless that's what they want to tell us.
Have you found out if this company has been paid or not?
Yes, they've been paid.
They've been paid?
They've been paid.
So it was a single source contract?
Yes, single source.
That was given to them?
Yes.
But you say that they do not have any prior experience?
No prior experience. This was their first gig.
Okay.
First gig.
Okay.
And you see
paid.
how close it was to...
Okay.
They just, called cronies.
All right.
And typical of all scandals under this government.
Okay.
Call cronies, set up crony companies, no track record. But you see, this is lives.
Elsewhere, this matter will be a very, very, very big and serious issue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you say that the investigation is going on?
No, it's the ministry, that says that
they are now going to investigate.
The attention has been drawn to
yeah.
the expose he put out, so they are going to investigate the matter.
Yeah. When they were informed in January, and our children have already eaten the rice.
But he's put out information which presupposes that the ministry was made aware
by FDA
in January, even before the distribution was done.
Yeah, by FDA. Yes.
Who was made aware?
Reverend John Intimfojo. Yeah.
I mean, so this was in January, and the distribution to the secondary schools happened in February.
1st and 2nd February.
Well, so you are suggesting that the investigation should go beyond the ministry?
Yes, it should be done by an independent body. Yes, because the ministry is complicit.
Like which body?
We can set up a special committee or a commission of inquiry to look into independent people,
or OSP,
outsiders, or maybe OSP. Yeah. You know, but not the Ministry of Education. I can't believe that. I can't believe that because they are complicit.
I mean, even if the Ministry of Education didn't know about it, I mean, I would support an external investigation, because obviously the ministry is going to come in as witnesses. So, for credibility, if an external agency can come in and do the investigation, so we can get to the bottom of it. These things, you know, it's been happening for a long time. Sami said they called chronic companies, you know, because you can find many instances of this over the last 15 years or so, where contracts have been given on sole sourcing and to companies that were formed a month before the contract, as you find. So we need to treat this thing seriously, because it undermines the people's confidence in our democracy. And I believe that democracy is the strongest form of government, and we shouldn't make it look like it's weak. So so how are you going to trigger an investigation? Are you going to, Parliament 2 is now...
Yeah, Parliament is
out because Speaker Bagbin is, you know, taking the key home. So how are you going to trigger this?
Well, this afternoon I'll be lodging a formal complaint with the police to arrest the Lamens directors and invite the buffer stock people.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And so we can.
Yeah. Because look, Doc, I have LI 1541 here. It says that no person shall offer for sale, sell, distribute, import, or otherwise dispose of prepackaged food or drug unless the food or drug is marked or labeled with A, the name of the food or drug, B, a list of ingredients in the food or in respect of drugs, active ingredients showing the amount of each present in the drug, C, an indication of the minimum durability in the form of date of manufacture and expiry date, or best before date, or use by date in respect to the food, or 2, date of manufacture and expiry date in respect of drugs.
So, I mean, as you are reading,
they violated all these laws.
You know, as you are reading these provisions in the law, it occurs to me that when it comes to labeling, we should be doing better.
Yeah.
Randy, when we are looking for production date and expiry date on produce, it's a struggle. The rest of the stuff is written boldly on the package. But when you are looking for the expiry, it's a struggle. You have to look up, you have to look down. And even when you find it, you see that the typeface is on broken lines. Yeah. I thought that the best before date, the expiry date, should be the biggest item on the can or whatever it is. And there are also products in this country, including medicine, where the literature on it is not even English. And it's being sold in pharmacies, you know.
So how on earth will the National Buffer Stock Company allow this to happen in their... They are the consignees. Yes. They imported the rice. Yeah. Okay. And this happens. The FDA and the police go in there on the basis of the report. They lock up the place. the FDA and the police send samples to Accra for testing. They find the company guilty of doing that rebagging. So that is clearly established.
The company admits.
The company itself admits culpability
and pays
a part of the fine. Then before the results are received, they release this rice
to the schools.
And the buffer stock company and the Free SHS Secretariat
supervise the
and the Ministry of Education supervises the distribution of this 22 bags of rice. 22,000 bags of rice to schools across the country. And they are consumed.
They are consumed. All of them consumed. I checked with the heads. They said, oh, we chopped the rice long ago. It's all finished.
So is this the Lamens? Is the importer?
Yes.
Or
the company that was given the contract.
The company
by the buffer stock.
By the buffer
stock. The Lamens.
Yes.
So they imported the
They
rice.
imported. And they did a rebagging with.
And they kept it till it expired.
Yes. I think they struggled to pay the tariffs.
They had brought the rice from 2022.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And couldn't pay the tariffs and all of that. They struggled with it. And
so it's expired food.
Yes, expired food.
Going through the system.
Yes. And the FDA examination result says that this is not food that should.
And you know the interesting part in what you read?
Yeah.
There's an indication that they went to food science or food research institute.
Yes.
And they said that they could extend.
Exactly. They were seeking an extension.
Expiration date.
Yes.
Okay.
And the food.
You said there's some order of Is that who has ordered
18 Land Cruisers, 4 Tundras?
At this time?
At this time. Days. 7 weeks to handover.
Where's the order?
Where's the order? The order was made by the office of the president.
Oh, okay. For what purpose?
And they said for official use. Official use.
It goes into the pool.
The official use. So you need, for 7 weeks to go to then, you need 18 brand new Land Cruisers and 4 brand new Tundras. To do what?
Well, I don't know about it. You are now informing me. I'll find out. What's the evidence? You have some letter or something?
Yes.
I can see you.
I can let you read it.
Or forward it to me so I can seek clarification.
Look, you see why. You see why December 7 we shouldn't take chances.
Have you forwarded
7 weeks?
Have you forwarded
get rid of this?
7 weeks to hand over. You are buying 18 Land Cruisers and 4 Tundras.
Are you sure it's true?
Take it.
No,
you take it.
Oh,
take it.
Because I want to find out.
Take it. Yeah, so take it.
No.
Take it.
You know. Sometimes I pity Nana Komi. I wonder if he's really part of the government because he doesn't know any of this is going on.
Oh, but this thing, assuming it is true, it was a tip-off given to you. The government is going to buy vehicles. Do they call a big conference and announce
all the scandals? You don't seem to know anything about it.
Like this Lamens.
Yeah, even this one Lamens. You don't know Lamens. No, these are your collaborators. These are your. I hear you hang out with them. I hear he hangs out with them every Friday night. And they don't tell you Nana Komi.
He hangs out with who?
With a lot of these people.
I know who he hangs out with.
Every Friday night. And yet he doesn't seem to know what they are doing.
This accusation that Samuel Kujeto is making.
Yeah, I'm getting worried that you don't seem to know anything.
You are letting him get away with it.
No, because you are here, you speak for the government, but you don't seem to know anything of government.
This rice, I don't know about this rice.
Yeah.
Now, these Lamens people, who are they? I don't know them.
These are your top collaborators.
I hang out with the Lamens people.
They are untouchable. See how untouchable they are. The Ashanti Region Police were told to release them immediately. Their rice has been immediately dispatched to the schools.
I should know about this.
Yeah, powerful people.
Contaminated.
And the National Buffer Stock people. You don't know the board chairman Anabi. You don't know him. I thought he's part of your company.
But now that you've brought it to my attention, I can speak to Nanabi about it. But to tell me that why don't I know about it, it's totally unfair.
Yeah, because I'm surprised.
It's like I know about it and I'm pretending I don't know.
No, I haven't said that. But I'm just surprised that you don't seem to know anything.
How can I know if the office of the Jubilee is ordering some vehicles? I'm supposed to know?
At least you come and defend it. They should try even give you some hints that, this is our defense, Actually, they should tell you something. They treat you so unfairly. You come here and it looks like this sometimes. Dr. Randiabe knows more within your own government than you yourself.
For you, you can do this because you always want to hit me. But it's Randiabe that I blame.
What have I done?
To get away with this.
I was just defending you that you don't hang out with them on Fridays.
But
it's such an unfair, egregious age. Then it's been allowed.
So Nana, please,
Nana,
kindly ask them.
Ask them why they are doing
they
this.
need 18 Land Cruisers
I say you forward
and 4 Tundras with 7 weeks to go.
Yeah. And why they are now poisoning our
18
children.
brand new Land Cruisers and 4 Tundras.
I said you forward it to me.
With 7 weeks to go to hand over.
And then why they are also poisoning our children. Find out from them.
The issues that we are talking about, I forwarded it to some
people. Why?
No. That's the greed. They don't even mind if people will die, if children will die, just for money. It's just like the Galamsey thing.
Anyway.
Once money will be made, they don't care.
Up next, Metro Sports.
There's nothing worse than your multi-bet missing, but nothing better than having it saved. BetSaver,